Seagate IronWolf Pro 20TB Review. The 2TB additional storage space offered in the 18TB model can be considered a modest improvement. However, those with 10 or greater drive arrays may find this to be an advantageous upgrade. Unfortunately, the workload per year values appears to be lower than expected. The external features of the Seagate IronWolf Pro 20TB are consistent with other models in its form factor. This 670-gram block of metal contains a conventional magnetic recording 7200 RPM hard drive. With 10 2TB platters and 20 heads, all moving in a hermetically enclosed helium atmosphere. This design features a SATA 6 GB per second connection that is compatible with PCs and NAS that accept SATA drives of the same specifications. This review is focused on the numbers, which may be good or bad. We apologize if this causes any boredom. This design incorporates RV sensors and custom accelerators, allowing for thermal adjustments to be made as data density levels increase. Even minor alterations in the size of components can have a significant effect, and this design takes that into account. The 18TB IronWolf Pro had a sequential reading and writing speed of around 260 MB per second, while the 20TB reached 285 MB per second or greater in most tests. This translates to a 10% performance boost, which is fairly close to capacity improvement. There were improvements in IOPS on reading and writing speeds compared to the previous version. If you are looking for a high input-output performance, SSDs are likely to be a better investment than hard drives. We were surprised that, despite the performance improvements, the 20TB drive drew less power and generated less heat than we anticipated. The 20TB model has a higher standby power level than the 18TB with 5,5W over 5,2W. But its active power level is lower at around 8W versus the 18TBs of around 10W. It is uncertain how many drives will be necessary to make this a notable financial gain. However, power efficiency should be taken into consideration as it translates to lowered cooling requirements for an array utilizing them. We are concerned about the 300 TB per year workload definition of the IronWolf Pro 20TB. Upon initially examining these figures, they seemed sensible since the workload value was not as high as a TBW figure on an SSD. 300 TB is in relation to each year of operation for up to 5 years. Dividing the total bytes by capacity results in 75 TB per terabyte of capacity. Seagate's workload is lower than the least expensive unbranded SSD. Calculating the workload to be annualized workload rate equals lifetime writes plus lifetime reads 8,760 lifetime power on hours. Consequently, the terabytes written for SSDs take into account writes, but this workload includes reads as part of its rate. Here, we observe the tangible effect of technology with components that move. Each action of the drive affects its eventual breakdown, as playing a record repeatedly would. If users of this drive regularly perform weekly data integrity checks, they will exceed their workload limit within 4 months regardless of any other operations. The workload definition for Seagate and Western Digital drives is consistent, and the workload amounts for the Red Pro 20TB are the same. The workload of the UltraStar DCHC 560, WD Gold, and Seagate Exos 20TB is less than 550 TB per year. All of these drives have a limited workload lifespan compared to an inexpensive SSD. And as capacities become larger, this is not expected to change due to the physical nature of the technology. Seagate released its 20TB products at the same time as Western Digital, meaning neither company had any sort of competitive advantage in this area. The IronWolf Pro 20TB provides a number of benefits compared to the 18TB version and other capacities in its series that surpass simply being larger. Given the low 300 TB per year workload, we may explore other options that are not tailored for commercial and enterprise NAS. Faster headline speeds are desirable, but ensuring that RAID arrays remain operational is much more important. Furthermore, up-to-date data center technologies can provide similar performance at a comparable price with higher yearly workloads. Taking into account the workload rating of 550 TB per year and the MTBF of 2.5 m/h, we recommend the Seagate Exos 20TB over the IronWolf Pro 20TB. In conclusion, Seagate struggled to adjust the price of their IronWolf Pro model without impacting pricing on their 18TB and smaller drives.